What is going on, Section 103 listeners? Welcome back to the Section 103 podcast. And if you are brand new here, we are a podcast that celebrates the past, present, and sometimes future of professional wrestling. Instead of just being another wrestling show recap, just like maybe every other wrestling show recap podcast you've watched, we do it a little bit differently because we're the only ones today that have Matt and Peyton as co-hosts with Ben joining us. And I promise you there's not another podcast with that trio lineup. Now, I bet you're wondering, who is Ben? Ben is the founder of the 10 plus year E-Fed called ATWE. Ben has the Section 103 and the FTI Studios logo plastered around that arena. Matt Styles just recently won, I believe it was the Hardcore Championship. So I've been celebrating all week. I've been drinking a few more Esco waters all week in celebration, getting ready for my next title defense. I'm going to throw it over to Ben. How are you doing? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for that introduction. I was going to mention my ATWE stuff, but you already did it for me. Wow. Well, it's great to be here. I love listening to the podcast, as I always put the love down in the comments. And to finally sit down with you guys, finally talk with Peyton for the first time, which is going to be great. And
nice to meet you. Forgot to say that.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
But I'm just excited to be here. I love wrestling, mainly WWE, but I'll literally watch anything that's in front of me. But yeah, that's all I got.
While we have the listeners here early, tell us a little bit about ATWE and how people can get involved after kind of like the elevator pitch.
Okay, well, ATWE, an E-Fed, like you mentioned, I stream over on twitch.tv/Archerful. I'm sure you'll throw a link and stuff down below. Basically, it started when I just made like viewers and just threw them into matches just all willy-nilly, no clear vision or whatever. But then people started like joining in. It started to get more crazy. Like, wait a minute, I can do something with this. And I just kept going from there. I moved it to universe mode, got the cutscenes that are within the mode and stuff. And it's just gotten better each year, I think. Like right now, I finally started streaming with the capture card. So it's also a great community of people that you'll like. My Entity, we know Entity, amazing guy. Great dude.
All the love in the world for Entity. Oh
Absolutely.
my God, all the love in the world for that man.
He helps me with ATWE so much. Sometimes I have struggle booking. I know that sounds crazy as someone who runs an E-Fed, but sometimes I'm like, damn, what do I do with this guy and this guy and this girl? Like, I kind of understand why Triple H sometimes isn't the greatest at it. But he keeps me in check. He can help me with my booking. But ATW, a great community of people who love wrestling. And instead of it just being a more competitive thing, I like to throw like cutscenes in there and storylines to really make it more than just, oh, I have a match tonight, I'm going to win or lose. It's more like, oh, what's this person doing? What's this guy doing? Stuff like that.
I think the magic of E-Fed universe modes, like on like Twitch, even from like late 2014 to present day, was specifically the magic in the first few years. I remember when 2K15 came out for the Xbox One and PS4, it was a bare bones game, but so many Twitch streamers found a way to make it interesting to get to WWE 2K16. 16-year-old me was a part of so many E-Feds, man. I always chose Xavier Woods because when you get his momentum in 2K15, like on universe mode, for whichever reason, he'd always be the ruler. Like he was always world champ. People would go for like the Cov, like Finn Balor, because Finn Balor wasn't in the game. People would go for Bray Wyatt because that was his first game. Man, I was rocking Better Call Your Mama, Xavier Woods, pre-New Day. And nice. Everybody and their mother used Xavier Woods pants or Chris Jericho's Lionheart pants as like the base for their caw. And yeah. I thought I was so unique doing that until I went to an E-Fed and I saw everybody with the same ones. Yeah, what a time.
It's funny you mentioned that because 2K15 was the game that started ATWE. So as bare bones as you can get. So it was only up from there. And the Lionheart tights, someone who was in ATWE is still around, still uses the Lionheart pants to this day.
Let's go.
To this
they
day.
Have not been washed yet.
No.
They've been 11 years.
11 years, they're unwashed.
Speaking of people who are not washed in the best way possible, I hope that's a compliment. We head over to the man in the middle of his screen. It's good to not be washed, right? Like if you say you're washed, that means like a bad thing. Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. So Peyton, what's going on in your unwashed world?
What's up? Thank God I'm not washed. I uploaded a new video on the Prince Aqua channel, Splatoon 2 Retrospective. Good stuff there. For this podcast, if you're listening on like watching video, I throw on the fucking New Japan jersey for today that I almost didn't even own. But I got it like last year, I think. So I thought for the occasion today, because I will go over some Wrestle Kingdom in the week of wrestling. But yeah, I'm really glad I'm not washed. I'll tell you that. Real glad. But I'm also glad to be here. Of course, I am your co-host of the show here.
And that's why you'll never find a podcast with Matt, Peyton, and Ben ever in your life again, because it's happening right here at the Section 103 podcast. We're going to head into our first kind of meal of the podcast. It is This Week in Wrestling, and we have a pretty fun week to break down. This week will not be timed, however. We have a more thorough breakdown because we're not reviewing two big shows. Quick note, thank you for everybody who tuned into the 2.5 hour podcast last week.
Yes.
But Peyton, why don't you let us know what happened in This Week of Wrestling for the week of Sunday, December 28th to Saturday, January 3rd.
Yes, we will do that. Also, we'll include Wrestle Kingdom just because of the 4th. It's one day, and we recorded this a little late, thankfully. So I was able to get that in. But like any week, we start off with Monday Night Raw. So here's kind of what went down. CM Punk and Braun Breaker had a little promo battle ahead of their title match the following week, which we'll of course cover next week. Stephanie Vaquer defeated Raquel Rodriguez and Nikki Bella to retain the Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky brawled with the Kabuki Warriors ahead of their tag match for next week. Gunther defeated R-Truth. Rey Mysterio defeated Austin Theory via DQ. Afterwards, it's him and Logan Paul beating up Rey Mysterio, and Penta returned finally to fend off Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree had a little promo battle also ahead of their title match. We got not an eventful Raw. We got a setup Raw for the following week. But the main event saw the Usos defeating AJ Styles and Dragon Lee to win the World Tag Team titles, the Raw Tag Team titles. And yeah, that was Raw. For me, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I do not have a lot to say other than I am very happy for Penta being back, and I am into the CM Punk and Braun Breaker feud. I think the promo definitely helped, but of course I am just one man at the end of the day here. So we are going to mix it up. We'll get a little saucy. Ben, take it over. Do you have any thoughts on Raw?
So I didn't watch Raw that week. I've been kind of I don't have anything to say about Raw. I've been off of WWE for a bit just because I've been working a lot.
Okay.
But I did catch next week's in wrestling, but that's not today. So I guess it's Matt's turn.
Matt, what about you? What you got for us?
I'm just honestly waiting for that Jey Uso heel turn still. I don't view this as like the Usos are like a back as like a solidified tag team. I really view this as kind of like maybe I don't want to say a stretch, but maybe like I guess for lack of a better term, a stretch to get Jey to turn heel on Jimmy to maybe redeem their WrestleMania 40 match. Because I do think that this is going to be a really fat flash in the pan, as the white guys say, moment for Jey Uso to turn on his brother and redeem that WrestleMania 40 match. Penta being back is really neat. And then Rio, I'm a fan of Rio because Io Sky is currently my favorite on that roster. And other than that, nothing crazy. I am excited to talk about next week's This Week in Wrestling. Yes. Section 103 listeners, tune in next week, but please continue listening to this because we're still at the beginning of the show.
I watched that, Rob.
You think Jey Uso, the heel turn, that's the way they're going? For sure?
1,000,000%. This does not seem like, to me anyways, this does not seem like the Usos are like back. This just kind of seems like a little bit of a time waster. to build up like kind of maybe like that more dramatic, emotional, get the fans emotionally invested when the turn happens. Because last time it was Jimmy on Jay, and if it's Jay on Jimmy now, I think that Jay could ditch the Yeet stuff and really become like main event Jey Uso again from like the 2020 when he had that little mini feud with Roman.
Interesting. Shoot, you know what? That definitely does sound a lot better. I will have to admit. But of course, moving on to Tuesday, we had NXT. This one, honestly, again, kind of a nothing burger, really. But of course, we go over. Ethan Page defeated Moose to retain the North American title. Tatum Paxley beat up Izzy Dame. JC Jane defeated Ren Sinclair. Dark State, you're going to love this one, actually. Dark State beat up Joe Hendry during his little concert. I'm sure that puts a big smile on your face. Tavion Heights defeated Lexis King to become the number 1 contender for the Speed title. OTM defeated Swipe Right. And in the main event, Ricky Saints defeated Javon Evans. I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't have anything to say about NXT personally. Also, for kind of similar reason, New Year's Evil. This is just kind of building up to that. So New Year's Evil is the big show that we go for here. But Matt, if you got anything to say about, I feel like you might have something to say about Joe Hendry, but go for it.
I'm excited for New Year's Evil next week. I guess I'm just really excited to talk about next This Week in Wrestling. Yeah.
Should have just had this episode just be the Royal Rumble. Just the Royal Rumble coverage. That's all we needed. Ben, you got any NXT thoughts?
I haven't watched NXT since the pandemic, to be honest. I've caught the highlights here and there. But I do want to get into NXT because I like seeing the people kind of work their way up. Because I like a lot of people in there, like Mariah May. Blake Monroe. There we go.
Either or works. It's the same person.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of her works. I want to see more of her in NXT and love Ricky Saints. And those are two I really want to start watching. And obviously, Ethan Page, being a Canadian, obligated.
Dude, that's like your guys' Michael Jordan right there is Ethan Page.
That is my Michael Jordan right there.
Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, man.
Oh, dude, fucking, yeah, all right. Speaking of Josh Alexander, what show was next?
Oh, yes. Good segue, because he is actually on the show, I'll believe it or not. I call him Bajosh Alexander, though, apparently.
Bajosh.
According to the notes. He's Bajosh.
Yo, B and J aren't even beside each other on the keyboard, dude. What the fuck?
Yes. B and J.
They're close.
I'd type real quick. But yes, no, we had both Dynamite and Collision. I think for now on, for the year, I'm going to combine both Dynamite and Collision just because they're damn near the same show. So I'm just going to combine that for now. So here's what went down. On Dynamite, MJF returned with the Triple B, of course, bringing back that Burberry belt. But he's already got him some new challengers. Swerve Strickland, Adam Page, Samoa Joe all obviously want, their matches back again. But as well, Kenny Omega did a little promo video on the screen while MJF was in the ring, and he's like, I'm on my way, be prepared. So that's awesome there. They're kind of going, if the last week's episode when I talked about World's End and kind of what I wanted to see with MJF, seems like they're going in that direction. So all's good in my world for now. But we also had Marina Shafir, Daniel Garcia, and Claudio Castagnoli defeat Tony Storm, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong in a mixed tornado tag match. Bandito defeated Beast Mordos. Afterwards, they kind of have a little promo, a little section with Brody King. And he's like, hey, if Bandito wins the AEW title against MJF, we already agreed, I'm going to be first in line. So if that happens to happen, that'll be cool. And then afterwards, Brody King defeated Lee Johnson. This one might break your guys' heart, but John Moxley defeated Josh Alexander in a Continental title eliminator. Ricochet defeated Jungle Boy to retain the AEW national title. And our main event of Dynamite, we kind of alluded to it last week. Willow Nightingale defeated Mercedes Moné to win the AEW TBS title. So she is now a 2-time, and if I'm not mistaken, the only 2-time TBS champion. I believe, as well as obviously being the inaugural AEW Women's Tag Champs. But as well, again, we had Collision. This one I kind of just did like quick notes on. El Clone defeated Angelico in his debut match. Of course, obviously, if you've watched Triple A, he was a res in there, so he's been around. But as El Clone, this was his debut match. He won. This one, I'm like, holy shit. John Moxley's gonna face Shelton Benjamin on Dynamite next week. That's gonna be amazing. I will be there, of course. The Timeless Love Bombs, which is Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa, defeated Hyen and Maya World. Mega Problems, which is Marina Shafir and Megan Bain, defeated... I thought these names are really fucking funny. Ray Chanel and London Dior. Obviously Chanel and Dior, if you have money. Hechicero defeated Commander to become the number one contender to the TNT title. And Jet Speed defeated Brian Keith and Big Bill. And then Shelton Benjamin defeated Dante Martin, and Darby Allin defeated Wheeler Yuta. Matt, what's got you cracked up?
The names are funny if you have money. If you don't have money, please do not laugh. AEW was good. Like, everybody said it was kind of like a sleeper episode because it was like the week of like New Year's Eve, literally on New Year's Eve. But man, your opening sets so many seeds up for future world title matches with MJF. And then your main event, Willow defeats Mercedes Moné. Are you kidding me? How do you call this a sleeper? I ain't even touched on John Moxley and Josh Alexander yet, dude. Like, that was such a good match as well. Ricochet getting a successful title defense, always there for it. I do enjoy Ricochet as a character. I think if I can do my quick neckbeard moment of the week, which I was really ready to do on last week, is I read this tweet that I honestly agreed with. It was like a tweet. It was like every moment that WWE has forgotten about or dropped in the last 2 weeks. And it was just like all these like screen grabs of like different moments, matches, promos and such. And then one of the comments responded to it going like, I don't think they dropped them. I think they just teased them for like crowd investment to see if the crowd would be interested in it. And like, I was like, but when AEW does that, everyone's like, oh, AEW is so smart for doing that. And like, this MJF opening segment is literally the definition of that. And I'm here for both WWE and AEW doing that. Because if we're not interested in seeing something on the WWE world, we just bitch and complain. But if we're not interested in seeing something on the AEW world, we're like, they didn't do it because they care about their fans. Either or, I think both companies do it really well. I'm giving kudos to both of them at the same time. Please continue listening to this podcast if I offended any WWE or AEW diehards or marks. And then, yeah, Darby Allin defeated Wheeler Yuta. A pretty good collision main event. This next show, I, unironically, I think I'm using that term correctly, was on the couch watching it as it happened, which is a fucking rare one for me. Peyton, what happened on Friday night?
Yes. But actually, before we talk about SmackDown, Ben, any AEW thoughts?
AEW thoughts.
I am so sorry, Ben.
No, it's okay. I actually, I have watched my fair share of ATWE. Of course I did. AEW, my bad. Accidental plug. So I've watched a few pay-per-views here and there, and I actually really want to get more into it. I just don't know where to watch it. So if you can help me out, try to where I can watch
brother,
it.
I got a website
week.
for you. Don't you worry about that.
Right. Because I am actually a big fan of a lot of people in AEW, and their style being different from WWE is a nice palette change. If you just consume so much WWE, it kind of gets stale to a point. So the alternative being AEW is great. Like Matt said, you can be a fan of both, right? And I want to be. I want to get more into AEW. So the next time you ask me, what are your thoughts on AEW? I can actually say something instead of being like, help me watch it.
We'll see you back here next week.
We will see you back here next week. And that's the beauty of wrestling and Section 103. We got all different kinds of flavors. I'm excited to talk your guys' ear off about Wrestle Kingdom. But before I get there, SmackDown was actually kind of a banger. I'm not going to lie. Here's what went down. So The Miz had a little promo. He's like, I'm a locker room leader. I'm a veteran. 2026, I'm doing this. And he gets interrupted by a returning Randy Orton. Yes, hitting the pose, RKO. I think he did it twice. Good stuff there. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair defeated Kairi Sane, Asuka, Lash Legend, and Nia Jax. Kit Wilson, who has a fucking tough theme song. Just gotta be honest. I was very surprised. But he had an open challenge, which was answered by a debuting / returning Matt Cardona. So he's in WWE now, got signed, but he is not going by Zack Ryder. He's going by Matt Cardona. And obviously Cardona defeated Kit Wilson. Sami Zayn had a little world title promo. He's essentially just like, I'm coming for the world title. I think he's probably my luck to win the Rumble this year, but well, I'm sure we'll get there as we get closer to Rumble season. But he was interrupted by a debuting, also / kind of returning because he was technically on the main roster before, Trick Williams. And Trick Williams killed it, of course. I'll obviously get my full thoughts in there later. Carmelo Hayes defeated Johnny Gargano to retain the U.S. title. Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes had a little promo battle to set up their 3 stages of hell, revealed the stipulations. So the first one is going to be traditional singles. The second will be Falls Count Anywhere, and the third, if it gets to it, but they always do, a steel cage match. And then Drew burned a picture of Dusty Rhodes. What a bastard. Unreal. Keep that mouth open, pause, because Julia defeated Chelsea Green to win the United States Women's title. We all know Section 103 listeners. I fucking love Julia, so that's great. I really hope she does better next time, or this time now. And then our main event, Damian Priest defeated Aleister Black in an ambulance match. Me-wise, we all know the highlight. Julia, come on now. It was a really good match, too. But that wasn't all. Genuinely, again, really good, just genuinely fun show. Carmelo Hayes and Johnny Gargano killed it. And Carmelo's going to be another great U.S. champion. Trick Williams, again, killed it. I love Trick Williams. The Kit Wilson thing was a lot of fun. Randy Orton coming back is great. That's going to help out a lot. And Damian Priest and Aleister Black had a really fun ambulance match, although I don't really agree with Damian Priest winning, but that's neither here or there. Matt, give me your thoughts on SmackDown.
Man, when just life flies by, how the days just fly by. We're on our final years of Randy Orton, and we need to appreciate this man. I can't tell you the smile I get on my face when I see Randy Orton wrestle. If it's a promo, an entrance, that man is just exactly, yeah, damn straight. That is the SummerSlam 2004, Randy Orton right there. Wow. The night he beat Chris Benoit for the World Heavyweight Championship. I did not redacted. Sorry, he beat Redacted for the World Heavyweight Championship. But man, I can't tell you the excitement I get watching Randy Orton. But also, Julia defeated Chelsea Green to win the U.S. Women's title. And then, you know what? I will give credit to Damian Priest and Aleister Black. They had a fucking killer ambulance match. That was fun. That was a lot of fun to watch. And yeah, that is my rundown of SmackDown. And WWE, you are in Toronto in 2 weeks, so if you want to give anybody a media pass, please let the boys know, and we shall be there.
I actually watched SmackDown. Just want to point that out. I watched SmackDown. It was great.
Give me them thoughts.
It was great. Randy Orton returned. Randy's my GOAT. That's part of the reason why I picked the Royal Rumble 2009. But to see him come back, and hopefully he can actually do something this year. Ever since he's come back at Survivor Series 2023, he's kind of been not really doing much. And it's kind of upsetting because it's Randy Orton. You got to use Randy Orton, right? And so to see him back is great. Hopefully 2026 is a great year for him, whatever he does. And Julia winning is great. That's awesome. Hopefully this reign is a lot better and they kind of know what they're doing with her now. I don't know why. Maybe she dropped it just so Chelsea can parade as a double champ for a little bit. But this time Julia hopefully has a good reign with more meaning behind it because she's great. I'm happy she's champion again. And what else? So Kit Wilson. That theme's a banger. My girlfriend's been singing that song to me it was like, this is amazing. So, and Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre segment brings great heat towards their 3 Stages of Hell match. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, it was a great SmackDown. I'm glad I actually watched it this week. And usually I don't. Usually I watch Raw and don't watch SmackDown, but I watched SmackDown this week and I'm happy I did.
It was quite a good show. Before we keep going, Randy Orton's like your number one. That's your favorite all time. Okay,
yep.
Interesting, really interesting. Alrighty, you know what? I'm hoping he does some well. But obviously, again, Section 103. If you are watching the physical video, why not? I'm on one today. Sorry. I'm wearing the jersey, the New Japan jersey. So you know what? We're going to talk about a little bit of Wrestle Kingdom. The week before last week's podcast, covering the 2 shows was quite the chore. So I'm not going to quite do that because I have Wrestle Kingdom, Stardom, and Marigold. Instead, I'm just going to kind of go over the results and just kind of give you my thoughts as we go. And, if anyone would like to chip in. But Wrestle Kingdom, here is what went down and kind of my thoughts as we go. El Phantasmo defeated Chris Brooks to retain the New Japan TV title. Fun stuff there. The Never Openweight 6-man title, Rambo. TMDK, which was Zack Sabre Jr., Ryohei Oiwa, and Hartley Jackson. They won to become the new Never Openweight 6-man champions. They last eliminated Boltin Oleg and Bishamon, which is Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. Shuri defeated Saya Kamatani to win the New Japan Strong Women's Championship and also retain the IWGP Women's title. That was really interesting to me. I'll talk about it a little bit more when we get to Stardom. Saya Kamatani is taking a little bit of a break. She'll obviously be back in February for her match with Starlight Kid, but she's not going to be on any the tour, just to get some rest because she was pretty beat up after that match with Sayori Ano that we covered last week, which was good shit. But I find that decision really strange, especially because we covered during Queendom last week. If you haven't seen that, go and watch it. It was great stuff. But they booked Hate 4-0. The entire faction won the whole night. So I think that's very interesting. That not even a week later they had Saya lose. But I'm also equally as happy for Shuri because she more than deserves it. We've been watching some killer stuff. Matt, go
Thank
for
you.
it.
I didn't want to interrupt you. Did any titles change hand at the Stardom pay-per-view? Now, I'm looking back on it. I don't think any new champions were crowned.
No, there were no new champions. It was still a great show though.
It was really good.
Loved it. But yeah, nothing changed hands.
This match just made me think about it because with Shuri winning, I was just like, oh, on Wrestle Kingdom, yeah, but on the Stardom show, no. All right, back to class.
Yes, that is because she did lose. That's a good callback because she did lose to Starlight Kid and Izumi. But so continuing down the card, we had United Empire, which was the team of Callum Newman, Great O'Khan, Hanare, Andrade El Idolo, crazy, and a returning / brand new member of United Empire, Jake Lee, defeated the unaffiliated, which is Shingo Takagi and Hiromu Takahashi, as well as Bullet Club War Dogs, David Finlay, Drew Moloney, and Gabe Kidd. Really, really fun match. Crazy to see Andrade in a New Japan ring again after 12 years, I believe he's been gone. If you didn't know, my little neckbeard comment of the week, he was La Sombra in New Japan. Good stuff there. He was a Intercontinental Champion in there as well. Yeah. It was crazy. But no, seriously, really, really fun match. This next one, El Desperado defeated Kosei Fujita, Taiji Ishimori, and Sho to become the number 1 contender to the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. This one, I honestly just kind of felt bad for Kosei. He just kind of looked like a bum, honestly. But he swings back though, and later down the way here in New Japan. But now we have a crazy triple header. These are all the big hitter matches for Wrestle Kingdom. The debuting Aaron Wolf defeated Evil to win the Never Openweight Championship in his debut match. Really fun. He's just a big motherfucker. He looked pretty good. he has a very like messy style, but it works with like his size and all that. And it was a lot of fun. All the shout outs in the world of Evil for making him look, as big as he did. Oh my god. Okay, but before I forget this, because we're on the Evil subject, I didn't write this, but Sonata is taking an absence, and I'm fucking heartbroken. My heart is crushed. I hope he comes back, or you know what? We can bring him over to the States. Just pay him $5 million a year. Give him like a Roman Reigns contract. He don't even have to work that much. I just want to see him more in America. But anywho, great match, good stuff there. Yota Tsuji defeated Konosuke Takeshita to win the IWGP World Heavyweight title, but also retain the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Stellar ass match. Literally, if this was any other Wrestle Kingdom other than this one, it would have main evented and it would have been phenomenal. It's a stellar ass match. You maybe have seen the clip online of the Blue Thunder Bomb off the top rope. Phenomenal. And I'm very happy Yota Tsuji he was the chosen one. I remember when he debuted, actually it was after Sonata had retained his IWGP title, and he returned from excursion, and you could just tell he had that star power. This was 2023. I believe they had the match at Sakura Genesis. And yeah, like you could just tell like the star power was right there. And it's paid off. He's won a New Japan Cup, obviously global champion, now a heavyweight champion. Could not be happier for him. He's awesome. And Takeshita, while he didn't really necessarily have a reign, he's one of the best wrestlers. He's my favorite AEW wrestler, so all's good there. But, oh my god, the main event, Kazuchika Okada defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi in Tanahashi's final match. This could literally be an entirely separate match breakdown if we really wanted to. Phenomenal. Really just good shit. I mentioned I had a super poetic thing for John Cena's retirement. And here, if I guess I had to, get all sentimental, it's really just appreciating Tanahashi and, seeing that hero's last gasp. He put out all the hits. He made it so that he had to get Okada to step away from, the AEW, the douchey heel, and be the Rainmaker. Like when he hits that elbow drop and then he does the Rainmaker pose, oh my god, like that literally goosebumps up and down the arm. And when he hits that Rainmaker and he like pops off and he's yelling, it was such good shit. Genuinely, we are 7 days at the time of recording this into the new year, and that could very well be the match of the year at the end of it. It was that good. But that is not all for New Japan here. Again, I'm not going to really go over it too much, but New Year's Dash happened the following day. Some things of note, quick. The Unaffiliated and the Bullet Club War Dogs, just Bullet Club as a whole, actually are officially dead, which is crazy, because Bullet Club has been around for years. Yes, throw them up for years. Everybody. But they are no longer a thing. They're now all grouped together as the Unbound Co. However, the War Dogs kind of are like, I don't know if we necessarily agreed to this. But regardless, that's kind of a whole thing. But most importantly with that, Yota Tsuji made good on his promise. He said that if he was going to win the world title, he was going to retire the IWGP World Heavyweight title. You can just refer to it as the Ugly Wing title. And he brought back the V4 Heavyweight title, which is the most beautiful belt in wrestling, debatably. With that also, they retired the World Heavyweight as a whole. So I guess how they're doing it now is everybody is listed as having won the IWGP Heavyweight title, not the World Heavyweight title, but the Heavyweight title, which is the V4 for a better clarification. So guys like Will Ospreay, Sonata, whatever, technically speaking, won the Heavyweight. It's kind of a slippery slope, but that's sort of the rundown of it. I mentioned Kosei Fujita. He did slide back. Him and Robbie Eagles defeated Robbie X and Taiji Ishimori, Doki and Sho, who were the champions, and El Desperado and Kukai to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. So TMDK doing pretty well, even though Zack Sabre Jr. and Ryohei Oiwa, who were the World Tag League winners, lost to the Knockout Bros, who retained their IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Shota Umino and Yuya Uemura and Taichi and Tomohiro Ishii all come out, and they are the challenge next. The crowd really doesn't like Shota Umino. And ladies and gentlemen, that was New Japan. Of course, I'm wearing the jersey. I'm flexing. Good stuff. Loved it. Yeah, overall, again, though, that last three stretch of Aaron Wolf, Evil, Takeshita Tsuji, and Tanahashi Okada, that was phenomenal. But of course, if either of you, Matt, I feel like you might be a little more familiar with New Japan, or at the very least might have something to say about Shiri and Seiya Kamatani. If you may, any thoughts on the Wrestle Kingdom?
I just really like Tanahashi's retirement. I really think that they did that. I think they did that beautifully. I think it was like Jay White, Will Ospreay, and a few others. I really think that was beautiful. I think that is the perfect kind of like send off, especially in Japanese culture. That's like the most like, I guess like for what I'm trying to say is like the way they sent him off was how I would have expected it, like a Japanese wrestler to retire.
Respectful.
Very respectful, and like you admired the person instead of just like saying like, all right, one and done, show's over, thank you guys for being here while this was his last match. Being a little bit of a neckbeard, I think Shinsuke's presence was missed. I do understand that he was there in tribute that night with a few wrestlers, especially in the ring. But yeah, if you look back on last week's episode of SmackDown, they had Shinsuke do a 30-second pre-tape with a member from Solo Sikoa's faction, the MFTs.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you could have just maybe like, I don't know, bridge the gap really quick, let Shinsuke go pay respects to his friends. That's neither here or there. But I fucking love me some Shiri and Seiya Kamatani now. Fucking Peyton has me fully on board with Stardom. I now on my FTI Twitter feed, which is also my low-key new Twitter feed for when I just want to look at wrestling stuff. It is all Stardom. Is that a worry? Who knows?
Perfect.
Do I know
it's perfect?
Yeah, it's perfect. But I have not watched the Stardom show you're going to be talking about, New Year's Dream 2026 here in a second. But I'm excited for Starlight Kid versus Kamatani on, I think it's February 7th. I even know the dates.
There you go. You're getting into it. Ben, do you have anything to add on New Japan?
I might be the worst guest host of all time.
No, that one goes to Brandon Boucher. I'm sorry.
I did not watch, as you could guess, but I do know about the importance of Tanahashi, and I did see the clips on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and that was a great send-off. Beautiful, a legend, happy retirement. That's all I got.
That's perfect to put it. When one more little note on that, when Shibata's music hits and Tanahashi immediately starts crying, like, fuck, dude, that was, oh my god, like that's real tear jerking right there. But that is not the only big show we had. I'll quickly go over Stardom just right now, just because it wasn't like, it was mostly the multi-tags. As I mentioned, of course, Seiya Kamatani is going to take a break. We'll be back for February's defense against Starlight Kid. And then Neo Genesis, which was the team of Azumi and Miyu Amasaki, defeated FWC, which was Suzuki and Koguma, and Miku Kanei and Sarai to become the number one contender for Goddesses of Stardom tag champions. That'll be great stuff there. I was still really hoping for that Azumi and Starlight Kid pairing, though. That would have been great. But last show here, before we get to our show coverage of Royal Rumble 2009, Marigold First Dream 2026 results. Again, I'll just kind of quickly do this one as well as give my thoughts. Koko, Seri Yamoka, and Shino defeated Kazuna Tanaka, Komomo Manami, and Yuka Yamazaki. Hummingbird, Koki, Amare, and Natsumi Shizuki defeated Manami Yuki, Nagisa Tachibana, and Nao Ishikawa. This one was fucking crazy, actually. So, okay, this is one name, one wrestler. and excuse me if I'm saying it wrong, Kuroshio, Tokyo, Japan. Again, one wrestler. This dude was none other than Ikemen Jiro in WWE, if you remember. The dude who in NXT who wore the jacket and would just like yell. He was Popular K, who defeated Megaton. Interesting. Then maybe my memory bank is just not great. I don't recall them ever having a male wrestler in Marigold Stone. The first time in, I believe the company's been around for 2 years. First time a male has competed in Marigold, which I mean, it fits his character. He's a goofy, silly guy. But yeah, really strange fucking name though. gotta hand it to you. I've never heard of a wrestler named Kuroshio, Tokyo, Japan before. But it fits with the character, so that was fine. Cool stuff. Utami Hayashishita defeated Chika Goto. That was pretty good. Darkness Revolution, which is Chiaki and Misa Matsui, defeated also Darkness Revolution, which was Nagisa Nozaki and Rhea Seto to retain the Marigold Twin Star titles. I'm a big fan of Rhea Seto. Hopefully her time comes real soon. I like her greatly. Victoria Yuzuki defeated Shoko Koshino to retain the Marigold United National title. This match was a fucking killer. Mayu Iwatani defeated Takumi Iroha to win the JHC Women's title. So I believe the stat I saw was she's the first woman to have won the GHC Women's title, which is Noah's women's title, and the IWGP, if I'm not mistaken, the IWGP Women's title. So that's really cool. The match was amazing. And then the main event, Miku Ano defeated Mai Sakurai to retain the Marigold World title. Another stellar match there. And yeah, that was the week in wrestling, everyone. Good shit. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Obviously, again, my personal highlight, maybe I might do like a match recommendation in the week or whatever. Kind of kick it off. I'm making like a spreadsheet of like everything that I watched this year just to kind of keep it in touch, especially for, the podcast now. If I really had to pick one match, obviously I think the one has to be Okada and Tanahashi, just especially for that last like 3 minutes. It just like the emotion when he hits the Rainmaker pose. It's like I think I saw like a comment that was just like the perfect way to put it. It was like a fog just lifted over from him, and like he just looked live. It was great. It was my point. And then probably second would probably be that Mayu Iwatani and Takumi Iroha. But that is it for the week of wrestling, but that's not it for the show. Of course, we are back on our show coverages here, but it is not a new show. We are taking it back to Royal Rumble 2009. So Matt, if you will, explain a little bit about Royal Rumble 2009, and then we'll have Ben explain why he chose the show, because given that he is our special guest this week, we had him pick a show, and this is what he chose. So Matt, if you may take it away.
From Japan to Michigan, we're heading to the Royal Rumble 2009 that took place on Sunday, January 25th at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan, with a crowd of 16,685 WWE Universe members. As we're all aware, WWE loves inflating how many people are in attendance, so we're going to say there was maybe 13,000 people in attendance that night, but that does not excuse the buy rate of 450,000 WWE Universe members watching worldwide, 10-year-old me being one of them out in my hometown. The show was presented by Behind Enemy Lines Columbia, which features WWE superstar Mr. Kennedy. Woo! Kennedy. Let It Rock by Kevin Rudolph was the theme for the event. Absolutely fucking banger. I know we're all going to talk about that. Yes, sir.
That's one of my notes. That was one of my notes.
The show was not only themed around the 30-man over-the-top rope extravaganza, but it also continued the story of Randy Orton's unhinged antics against the McMahon family. The show featured all 3 world titles. I will say 4 because the women's was also defended. World Championship bouts. This included Matt Hardy and Jack Swagger for the ECW Championship, JBL versus John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship, Beth Phoenix alongside Santino Marella versus Melina for the Women's Championship, and Jeff Hardy versus Edge for the WWE Championship. And then it is also hilarious to note, I don't care if the Section 103 listeners do not believe me, this run of doing a storyline, how we've been doing, we went from Survivor Series 2008, we've touched on Armageddon 2008, now we're doing Royal Rumble 2009, was not intentional. Ben picked this show. If there's anything intentional about it, it's when I chose like the match when Peyton and I each reviewed a match. But I just love that we're doing it this way. The show was picked by our special guest, Ben. So Ben, please let the Section 103 listeners know why this was your show recommendation.
All right. Well, of course, Randy Orton being my GOAT, I had to pick a show with Randy in it. I had two that are in my mind. I'll probably use the second one for our future time.
Yes, sir.
But I also love the Royal Rumble, and everyone loves the Royal Rumble. And I've watched this Rumble match so many times because I had the Randy Orton Evolution of a Predator DVD. It was like the documentary or whatever. It had a bunch of matches on it. This match was in it, the Royal Rumble match, but it started at Randy's entrant. So I've actually never watched through this whole show until we did the show. We're doing the show coverage for this. So I didn't know about the first 8 entrances of this match until now. So, and I just really wanted to talk about this one. So as soon as you gave me an option, I was like, Royal Rumble 2009. Why not?
Ben is lying to the Section 103 listeners. He really just wanted to talk about Jack Swagger and Matt Hardy for the ECW Championship.
I sure did.
Because that was our opening match for the show here. I believe at this time, ECW Championship matches opened the show. As I was writing this, I know I could have quickly did my research, but I am confident that they typically open the show. I do believe that later this year at TLC 2009, Christian and Shelton Benjamin for the ECW Championship in a ladder match opened the show. But the story behind this match is that Matt Hardy recently lost the ECW Championship on the January 13th episode of ECW, and he invoked his rematch clause to try to win the championship back. Time for your match breakdown presented by Prince Aqua's newest YouTube video. Go check that out. Alrighty, so here we go. Right out of the gate, the crowd is heavily in favor of Matt Hardy, which, spoiler alert, would change later in the night, but we will get there. A test of strength between the two occurs twice out of the gate, with Hardy getting the advantage. Swagger tries for various cheap shots, but Matt is one step ahead as Swagger rolls out of the ring. This match eventually spills its way out to the outside early, where Swagger's face meets the ring apron, courtesy of Matt Hardy. Soon after, Hardy tries for a clothesline, but Swagger rolls out of the ring once more, and is not only showing fear, but also hesitation, taking it out on a very motivated Matt Hardy. Jack Swagger puts his amateur wrestling skills to use as he stays on top of Hardy for a good while and holds him to the canvas with an arm lock. Hardy tries for an early twist of fate, but Swagger gets himself out of it, only to be met with Matt Hardy's boot in his chest mere seconds later. Later in the match, Swagger targets Matt's right arm with various strikes, a vicious shoulder block, an overhead arm submission, and other devastating maneuvers. Hardy does find a window of opportunity to shift momentum with his own strikes and running bulldog, but it is not enough to put the ECW champion away. Vintage Matt Hardy comes down from the second turnbuckle with an elbow to the back of Swagger's head for another 2 count. Swagger escapes a twist of fate attempt with a belly to belly, and at this point in the match, I would argue that both men have the exact same amount of gas left in the tank. Moments later, the two men visit the top turnbuckle as Swagger attempts for an elevated back body drop, only for Hardy to hit a moonsault that almost crowns him as the ECW champion. A game Jack Swagger avoids both a twist of fate and side effect, connects with his signature gut wrench powerbomb to continue his ECW championship reign. We hear one of the best Jim Johnson theme songs of all time, that being Jack Swagger's theme song. After the match, the camera follows a devastated Matt Hardy to the top of the stair, and only if we knew why this shot was important for later in the night. Ben, sending it over to you as this was your favorite match this night. Tell us your thoughts on Matt Hardy and Jack Swagger.
Oh, well, Swagger's theme, absolute banger, like you said. When it played, I was like, oh shit, I forgot this was his, because it used to play on, I think it was 2K14 all the time. So, good song, great song. I'm glad I chose this show specifically for this matchup. And I want to point out Matt Striker on commentary. He reminds me of Lucha Underground. I don't know if you guys watch Lucha Underground.
Oh my god, don't even get me started. Love Lucha Underground.
His voice just reminds me of Lucha Underground so much, and I want to do a rewatch of that. That was Awesome. And as for this match that I've been so eagerly anticipating to talk about, I enjoyed the amateur wrestling in the matchup that Swagger and Hardy were doing. Hardy was hanging in there with some of the wrestling too, which was pretty great. And working the arm, focusing the body part is one of my favorite tropes in wrestling. And how it fed into the actual finish by slamming into the ring post, follows up with the gut wrench power bomb. And Matt Hardy's moonsault, he nearly slips. I don't know if you guys caught that, but that was scary. Yeah. I thought he was going to land on his neck, but thankfully he didn't. But match, I don't going to break the storyline here. I don't think it was anything super special. It was a decent opener. I'd probably give it like 3 out of 5. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the opening match for the ECW Championship.
Peyton, your 2009 match of the year, break it down. What did you think of this?
My 2009 match of the year. For one, you mentioned Lucha Underground. I would definitely do that. I love me some Lucha Underground. But, of course, we kind of mentioned it. Let It Rock, Kevin Rudolph, Lil Wayne. One of the greatest pay-per-view theme songs of all time. That song just, like, encapsulates 2009 to me. Like, the entire year.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy a lot of 2009, 2008 music. Like, you know, very nostalgic for that time. I was younger at that point in time, as most of us were. But yeah, no. Just again, nostalgic song and time period for me as a whole. But then we don't even stop with the banger theme songs. I watched, so for I guess my context, I watched on WWE Vault. They put the full show up. So like I didn't watch like a Peacock or wherever else you may have it. I watched through YouTube. So it goes from, it doesn't play the lyrics of Let It Rock, but obviously, you know, I knew the song. And then it just cuts to Matt Hardy theme, which, you know, flew a tornado or whatever that song says. Good stuff there. And then, of course, Get on Your Knees. Dude, that song is so good. Like that one might be, that one's a top 5 Jim Johnson, I think. Maybe. But it is really good. But anywho, as far as Jack Swagger goes, I feel like that was kind of my takeaway. He's definitely my guilty pleasure wrestler for sure. And I'm very like weirdly nostalgic for this era specifically. The purple and black gear was one of my first action figures ever. The
Mattel or the Jack specific?
Mattel,
yeah.
Yes, I have it. It's in my little bin there. I forgot to pull them out. I plan to do that, but yeah, no, I don't know. There's something about Jack Swagger that I like. I know I probably shouldn't, but that's okay. But unfortunately, that's kind of where I sought my praise. The match wasn't bad at all, really. It was fine, and it was really cool to see the crowd so into Matt Hardy because, like, admittedly, he's not. It's obviously like always been about Jeff. So to see the crowd so into Matt was pretty cool. But I thought it was fine. Most notably, of course, it sets up the turn later, which we'll get into. But just shout out Jim Johnson and Kevin Rudolph and Lil Wayne, I think is what we got to say.
Absolutely, a shout out to those, especially Kevin Rudolph. Our next match is for the Women's Championship. We have defending Beth Phoenix against Melina. And honestly, when I saw this match, I was pretty excited. Glamorella is pretty fucking awesome. The match begins with a collar and below. Wow, we had Bajosh Alexander. Now we have a collar and below lockup. Ends in a stalemate, but the vicious bear hug from Beth to Melina does not. The crowd is so hot for Santino at ringside. An attempted attack on Beth by Melina ends with a shoulder block, but no need to worry as Melina gets an armbar locked in mere seconds later. Beth escapes the armbar by throwing Melina headfirst into the top turnbuckle. Beth drops Melina face first on the canvas, and if that's not enough face action, Beth follows up with a hip attack in the quarter. Santino calls for the timekeeper to ring the bell as Beth has a leg lock submission in. Is he trying to recreate the Montreal Screwjob in Detroit? I'll let you decide. A very creative move is hit as Beth takes Melina's foot and hits it on top of Melina's head while the leg lock was implied. Both creative and disrespectful. Melina finds a window of opportunity to counter Beth's offense with an elbow strike to Beth's head in a roll-up that only gets to 2. Melina comes flying down from the top turnbuckle with a Meteora that seemed to hurt her more, only to fool me because as I was typing this, Melina tries for her finisher to no success seconds later. That match ends out of nowhere with a perfectly executed surprise roll-up right in front of Santino. Melina is your new WWE Women's Championship. Beth Phoenix, but more importantly, Santino Marella is devastated. Ben, throwing it over to you. What did you think of our Women's Championship encounter?
I was actually very surprised how much I liked this match. Considering this was 2009, the Divas era, they didn't really get much time to shine. It was always slaps and roll-ups. I know this match ends in a roll-up, but that's not bad for this matchup. But this match, I was invested in it. They gelled very well together, Melina and Beth Phoenix. There was nasty electric chair drop that Beth hits on Melina. I thought she was going to land on her neck. 2 matches in a row. Be careful out there. But, and you mentioned like the move she had with her leg, like hitting her in the back of the head, posing her up like a scorpion. That was cool. But I just wish this match went a bit longer. I feel like it was just really picking up, maybe like another 5 minutes, and it probably would have been match of the night, honestly. They were actually really going there. And I'm glad Jerry Lawler didn't act weird. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe I might have had a different approach than on Jerry Lawler. I was in similar boat with you guys. It was a match that on paper, should have been a good one. The talent here is wonderful. Melina's entrance is always a treat. Beth Phoenix is great. But then you look at that nasty ass perv's face. You've seen Jerry Lawler, and like you remember kind of what era it is. Granted, I'll give you your credit. He didn't say too much, but he did make kind of a face like he was like, "Oh man, this is good stuff. I'm excited to see it." And Jerry Lawler fashion. Of course, this is unfortunately still the era of the Divas. So it's a far cry from the great women's wrestling we've covered, not only in the past but even today with like matches like Mayu Iwatani and whatnot, and even fucking SmackDown, with the 8-woman tag, that didn't exist really in this era. Not even just that. Santino was getting more chance than the women in the match. Which shout out to Santino. I do like Santino. Don't get it twisted. And he comes up later in this show. But, it was a shorter match. That's kind of what this era is always been to me. But it was still pretty solid. Like, it was solid, especially for the time. Of course, both of us have mentioned it. My highlight was that spot with Melina's leg and foot. I thought that was, nasty. And I can't recall seeing that in a match, at least not in the last, 5 years. So, yeah, overall, pretty solid match for what the time was. And I do like Melina winning. She was actually fun little Peyton lore. She was my first female action figure for WWE. It was Melina.
Mattel or Jack specific?
Mattel. If you know what one I'm talking about, it was the pink gear. Yep. She had pink gear, yes. And for some reason, I had a obsession with customizing my superstars. And by that, drawing and cutting them. So Jesus. I cut her hair.
Oh, Jesus.
I was a kid. In all fairness, I was a child, but I did that to her. I did that with a Jack-specific edge. I cut his hair and I drew. I wanted to have blood, but I used a Sharpie. So,
permanent blood.
Yeah, so he kind of just looks like he got burned, but... Yeah, no, that doesn't really matter here. The point is, shout out Melina. I like Melina a lot. She's cool.
I think that is something we're going to explore on a future podcast, specifically Matt's knowledge of wrestling figures. Our third match involves one of the craziest storylines to look back on. It is the JBL having Shawn Michaels as his personal helper. Because Shawn Michaels is broke, JBL is taking on John Cena for his recently won World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, Shawn Michaels' broken poor storyline. When I was a kid, fully believed it. Looking back on it, fucking hilarious. The dramatic music that plays during this #1 contendership highlight is way too much.
Yeah, I put a note for that too. Maybe laugh out loud.
Dude, like that is just crazy. I was just like, oh god, I'm gonna skip the video package. But what really caught me was when HBK sacrificed himself to JBL's clothesline, but also when Shawn Michaels beat John Cena in the lead up to this match. I thought that was pretty neat. And if that isn't enough, John Cena and Shawn Michaels have a Young and the Restless style, or like Days of Our Lives monologue, which is just kind of very like, I want the showstopper. And I'm just like, oh my goodness gracious, is JBL the opponent or is Shawn Michaels the opponent? After the video package, JBL and Shawn Michaels have a backstage moment. JBL is looking for some reassurance in HBK, but also promises him a hefty payday that would probably make the Young Bucks jealous. But who is around the corner? The Undertaker surprises HBK after JBL leaves and drops the coldest line of 2009. He says, sometimes it's hell getting to heaven. Fucking put that on a bumper sticker and slap it on my Nissan Rogue. God damn, that's a bar. No limo for JBL tonight, which was a lost opportunity because the ramp is literally a road. Like, if you're going to have JBL's limo one time, it is when the ramp is a road. Cena's shirt in this match is an all-time favorite. It's that classic AWA shirt, but turned into the HLR shirt. Right out of the gate, we have a Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks. And JBL finds himself on the outside of the ring after trying to regroup from a few headlocks there. He whispers something into HBK's ear, maybe where is my limo? Who knows? The momentum of the match is in the favor of JBL as he delivers more snug strikes and kicks to John. Cena shows why he's Super Cena and connects with his signature running bulldog and over the head bulldog. Way later in the match, as it looks like Cena's about to strike HBK on accident, JBL takes advantage and introduces Cena's face to the steel steps to regain advantage. Moments later, Cena is shoved from the ring apron down to the ramp. JBL encourages the ref to count to 10, realizes it's a championship match, so he can't win it that way, meets Cena on the outside only to follow up and whip Cena into the steel steps. As the match progresses, HBK's silent face expression and stance at ringside has both the WWE Universe and JBL wondering what he's going to do. Inside the ring, JBL is looking for a superplex on Super Cena, but Cena outpowers JBL, throws him back down to the canvas, only to follow up with that patented leg drop to the back of JBL's neck. A miscalculation by JBL gives Cena the momentum and the opportunity to connect with the signature 5 moves of doom. Cena can't see the 6th move of doom as JBL elbows himself out of it, but nobody told JBL about the 7th move of doom, which is the STF. JBL and HBK are face-to-face as he's locked in the STF. There's a lot of acronyms here, holy shit. And HBK looks as if he's going to push the rope towards JBL. After a moment of mind games, JBL sends Cena's head to section 103 in the arena and connects with a clothesline from hell. In your ref bump of the night, JBL inadvertently boots Mike Chioda outside the ring, cueing Shawn Michaels. Michael stands between both men laying down, soul searching as Michael Cole puts it, only to kick JBL's head clean off his shoulders. Cena's face of relief and appreciation doesn't last long, as Michaels also kicks Cena's head clean off. HBK places JBL on top of Cena and looks as if he's going to undo his action due to crowd dissatisfaction, but he ultimately just leaves the ring instead. After a Super Cena kickout, the match ends with an attempted clothesline from hell turned into an attitude adjustment, and Cena is still your World Heavyweight Champion. I really enjoyed this match as a wrestling fan later. I know at the time I was probably really bored of it, but looking back at it, I did enjoy watching this one back. Ben, as your least favorite match of the night, I'm probably dead wrong. What did you think of JBL versus John Cena?
Well, your breakdown of the match was definitely more exciting than the match itself, because you were right, actually. I wasn't really into this match that much.
Okay.
I am a big Cena guy, but something about this match just felt off. It felt a bit slow, and they were focusing so much on Shawn, like panning towards him, just like
absolutely dead face. Yeah.
That's how I look at on my Walmart shifts when I'm not listening to Section 103 podcast.
You'll put that on a t-shirt and sell it.
But I was really trying to get into it. There were some good moments. Of course, I enjoy John Cena, but these two have had better matches. Like their I Quit match was a lot better. The ending though, I did like. I liked that he hit the sweet chin music on JBL and Cena, and then had made JBL cover Cena. I just wasn't getting into it. I was trying. I just felt bored the whole time, and just my least favorite matchup of the night. So you got it right.
I think this time in wrestling for WWE specifically is they weren't afraid to have baby faces also have heat with other baby faces. I think that's something that's really missed in today's wrestling. They kind of have it a little bit, but like Shawn Michaels, for example, he was of course like a baby face, but he had no problem kicking Jeff Hardy's head off, John Cena's head off, hell, Triple H's head off, if it meant that he was going to get a championship match or even like the one up. But Peyton, what did you think of this match, my friend?
For me, I have a lot of nostalgia for the Michaels JBL feud entirely because of excuse me, of SmackDown versus Raw 2010 Road to WrestleMania mode. If you know about that, you know what I'm talking about. But if not, I think you should owe it to yourself to play it if you are able to. I love that game's Road to WrestleMania mode, like all the different ones, but that one I remember very fondly. The Shawn Michaels and JBL feud there. The talk with JBL and Shawn Michaels before the match, as well as The Undertaker coming in there, great shit. Right there, I loved it. And the whole match, is kind of centered around Michaels either helping JBL. I call him KBL. We are really not good at this.
We're awful on
this,
really
not good at this. This is not
so many
week.
acronyms.
This is not our week. But we either help KBL or if he's going to turn good again, whatever, if you will, which makes for a pretty interesting dynamic. I've always appreciated JBL just like being such a heavy hitter. And I also just always have a soft spot for that, like, rich asshole kind of stereotype that gets knocked down eventually in wrestling. Like I think of like Ted DiBiase, senior and junior, obviously JBL, things like that. But the match, my highlight was probably the ending spot with Michaels leaving the ring after, the super kicks, not really helping or hindering JBL here. And then of course, ultimately, as we may know, Cena goes on to win the match, of course. Michaels would go on to face The Undertaker in one of the best matches in WrestleMania history. JBL would retire to Rey Mysterio at that same show, and then also at that same show, John Cena, Edge, and Big Show triple threat, I believe.
You
are
correct.
All right, yeah. I watched WrestleMania 25. That was my go-to like car ride movie on like the little portable DVD players you'd put on the back seat. That was always my show. I had like the DVD little box set. So yeah, just mainly nostalgia, not even necessarily for the match, just for everything surrounding it, be it SmackDown versus Raw or WrestleMania 25 that comes after. That's kind of my takeaway.
I think that on a Section 103 in March or April, we need to watch WrestleMania 25 because I haven't watched that show from front to back in forever, and that was my third WrestleMania, but the second one I ever watched live. And yeah, that 2009 for me, WWE, especially that early half of the year, probably where I cut off maybe like SummerSlam. I remember 10-year-old me thought it was the craziest time in WWE. Speaking of crazy times in WWE, earlier tonight we had Matt Hardy lose to Jack Swagger, and we were wondering, why does this camera care so much about our boy Matt Hardy? I know that I didn't at the time. I did like how I did like his shirt, I will say. But it is time for the most heartbreaking 41-day WWE title reign to come to an end. The video package recaps Edge's Survivor Series 2008 WWE Championship win and Jeff Hardy's Armageddon 2008 WWE Championship win. And if you want to know more about both those moments, tune into episode 1 and 4 of the Section 103 podcast. We're going to pause it here. Welcome back. Thank you for going to check those out. I really hope you enjoyed both those sessions right there. The video package also includes the recent car accident on Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy doing his best to act in anything that he is involved in is just my favorite. Jeff Hardy's my all-time GOAT. That is no diss to him. I just think he brings acting to a whole nother level. Not good or bad, just definitely Jeff Hardy. The infamous pyrotechnic attack that to this day still looks gnarly looking back on. This is all leading to the culmination of who's really behind these attacks on the charismatic Enigma. At the time, everybody was certain that it was Christian. I do believe maybe, I don't want to sound like a neckbeard, Christian was supposed to be the culprit, but Vince McMahon, with his just his hatred for Christian, really always hindered him from being anything bigger in WWE. If you want him for more information, Christian was on the Chris Van Vliet podcast. Go check that out. But after this one, do not pause it to go listen to that.
Yes, we're number one.
We're our number one. As Jeff makes his way to the ring after the video package, he makes sure to look at what direction the pyrotechnics are facing. Very smart. Vicky changes the match to a no disqualification match as she introduces Edge and Chavo Guerrero. Out of the gate, Hardy takes it to Edge with a snug strikes, kicks, and whips. Moments later, the first pinfall of the match only gets a 1 count as Edge gets a shoulder up. The crowd are just as loud for Jeff Hardy as they are for wanting tables to enter the match. Jeff slides under the bottom rope with a baseball slide. Edge follows up, misses Hardy. Hardy gets back in the ring, hits a nice rope-assisted dropkick on Edge. Edge ducks out of the way for a crossbody attempt, but Hardy catches himself on the apron, runs off it, and connects with a body splash. Chavo makes his presence known as he stops Jeff from jumping over the apron onto Edge. This distraction pays off as Edge's boot meets Jeff's face to regain the momentum. On the outside of the ring, Jeff's face meets each announcer's table, and Jeff leaves a little bit of face paint smudge on each table. As JR says it's a tri-branded trifecta. Jeff is able to kick out at 2 and keeps his WWE Championship reign intact. Later in the match, weapons finally get involved as Edge introduces a set of steel chairs into the contest, or I should say he tries to, because Jeff spears Edge off the ring apron and Edge takes a nasty bump to the outside. Seconds later, Jeff follows up with an even more devastating twist of fate on the ring apron that looks like it hurt both competitors equally. The charismatic Enigma enters a ladder into the contest and sets it up right in front of the Raw announcer's table. Jeff places Edge on the table, but the former ECW champion Chavo Guerrero intervenes once more to allow Edge to get off the table. Unfortunately for Chavo, he's on the receiving end of a 10-foot high splash from the top of the ladder and through the announcer's table that looked fucking gnarly. To my surprise, Jeff is able to recover and maintain his momentum with a picture-perfect crossbody. I'm just kidding. Edge plants yet another boot in Jeff's face once more to buy time and shift control. And here we go, my friends. I'm so sorry. Section 103 listeners, please bear with me with these final moments. In the final moments of the match, Edge looks for a spear on Hardy. Jeff is able to counter it into a twist of fate. Vicky prevents Hardy from climbing to the top rope. Jeff kicks Vicky off the apron, hits a swanton bomb, a pinfall, 1-2. Vicky pulls the ref to interrupt the count. Matt Hardy gets involved, rolls Vicky into the ring to watch the Hardy Boys decimate the Rated R superstar. Jeff looks to strike Edge with the chair. Matt interrupts and grabs a second chair, giving the idea of a concerto. But it is Jeff who eats the chair as Matt turns on his brother, smashes that chair over Jeff's head, and costs him the WWE Championship. Edge won the WWE Championship with assistance from a man who tried to kill him 4 years earlier. I'm not crying. You guys are. Beautiful storytelling, but gosh darn, what a match. Ben, break it down for us. What did you think?
I just gotta say, Matt, when I picked this show, I forgot about this matchup in here. I'm sorry for reliving past traumas. I just want to start with that. I noted here Justin Roberts is goated. These ring introductions were awesome, and I think Justin's one of the best. Whenever I do my own ring introductions, I always do the Justin Roberts style when he really drags a letter, especially with his Johns. But this match was awesome. I enjoyed it so much. Off rip, it was such a big pick-me-up from the last match that I didn't really enjoy. But it was so fast-paced. The no DQ stipulation was perfect, especially for Jeff Hardy and Edge, who are great dance partners with each other. So this match stipulation was perfect. And the heel turn, absolutely incredible. And I love the little detail how there was no commentary after the steel chair shot to the head. It was just silence. Those little details you don't get often, especially in 2009 WWE. So to see that was great. I love how the moment was able to breathe because of it. There wasn't any oh my God, I can't believe it. Why would he do that? It was just you let the moment happen. It was great. Absolutely the match of the night so far for me.
I agree. I would definitely place it over Jack Swagger and Matt Hardy. Peyton, how about you? What did you think of this match, my friend?
That's a tough thing to say there. But no, I mean, kind of what you guys are saying. Like, how can I go wrong here? Edge and Jeff Hardy, two of my favorite wrestlers. Like at this time here, you guys were mentioning all-time wrestlers. With Ben having Randy Orton, Matt having Jeff Hardy. Mine is Kofi Kingston, who we will see later in the Rumble. But no, Edge and Jeff Hardy are definitely up there, like top 10, 15 for me. So of course I'm going to enjoy this. It's built up with the great, albeit dramatic, little promo package, changing it to the no DQ, whatever. And I could, head into all the match spots. Our amazing host, Matt, already did that. We got two great Matts here. But one of them, a little on the evil side here. I'm talking about Matt Hardy.
Aww.
Yes, Matt. This Matthew has a heart of gold right here. The other
hardcore
one,
champion.
Yes, the
Yes,
other
sir.
one, not so much. It really is. You got to watch this for that chair spot. Specifically, just gold when JR screams out "My God!" right as the shot hits, and then the silence after. It's beautiful. Like that is. It enhanced the moment, kind of what Ben was saying, in an era where we don't get, like nowadays, they don't really let moments breathe a lot. You'll have Michael Cole, oh my God. And, no disrespect to Michael Cole or nothing, but, it is nice to just have a moment breathe sometimes. And I think this one was perfect. Of course, obviously, again, to go in the WrestleMania 25 lore, this sets up the Hardy WrestleMania 25 match, which is another iconic one for me, as that was, I think that one and the Money in the Bank match were what I watched the most on those car rides. Like I would purposely rewind them and just go back. So I could probably do that show like no problem. If we ever do WrestleMania 25, that would be a cakewalk for me. But yeah, no, just great stuff here again. It's just that chair shot. Like you owe it to yourself. Even if you've seen it a million times like we have after this podcast, go watch it one more time and just enjoy, just soak that silence in.
I do agree. And speaking of soak and silence in, I'm going to hand it over to Peyton and Ben here really quickly because you guys are going to make a decision for me. My Royal Rumble match recap is 2 Google Doc pages long. So there's 2 options we can do. I like the first option. As Ben is the guest, we can throw it over to Ben because to my knowledge, he has a really nice Rumble breakdown as well, as he has something about each entrant. Or number 2, I can read this match breakdown from beginning to end.
Given that Ben's the guest, I say we let him go for it.
Hell yes.
All right. Well, my match, I don't really have a match breakdown. I have their entrance and then something like of note that I might have. Not every single person has something after it. So honestly, Matt, I think you can just go through the whole Rumble match right now. Just go for it. And maybe like here and there, give us some room to say something. I don't know. It's your show. You go right ahead.
All right, Section 103 listeners, it is currently 1 hour and 17 minutes into the podcast. If this podcast goes over 2 hours, I do apologize, but it is time to Rumble. It is always a fun time watching the Rumbles in number video, the Rumble in numbers video, especially from older Rumbles, because I love looking at the records at those times. I love knowing who had the records in like 2005, 1999. So this was really fun. Heading actually into the Rumble, Rey Mysterio is your first entrant, and he's looking to run the gauntlet like he did in 2006. John Morrison is your second entrant, and he's wearing my favorite gear. I had this in a Mattel Elite collection with the fur jacket, and this was his exact 1 year. The two start, dude. I want to find.
I should have hit you with the Mattel or Jack specific right there.
Dude, I'm on top of it, man. Yo, I can even tell you if it's one of those Kmart knockoffs where the arms can't bend at all. Yeah, but
Bork laser,
the Bork laser figures. All right, Here we go. The two start the Rumble with strikes and Irish whips in an early elimination attempt as Morrison throws Ray over the top rope after reversing a bulldog. Ray is able to stay in it. Ray tries to eliminate Morrison seconds later, but Morrison is still able to hold on as entrant number 3, Carlito, makes his way to the ring. Carlito, dude, this Google Doc is on one. Carlito comes with a mouthful of apple, spits it directly into Morrison's face. Surprisingly, Carlito hits the first wow move of the night with a springboard moonsault on Morrison. Entrant number 4, MVP, makes his presence known with a combination of strikes and maneuvers on all of his opponents inside the ring. Morrison tries to kick MVP's face off, but MVP ducks and Carlito eats the boot instead. Entrant number 5 is the Great Khali, and now everyone inside the ring is looking to team up on the big guy, and I do not mean Ryback. A decapitating clothesline to Carlito and a canvas shake and slam to Morrison makes the Great Khali a quick threat in the contest. Ray tries to argue this point I made by flying at Khali to no success. Khali ends his moment of momentum with his signature chokeslam to Carlito. Entrant number 6 is SmackDown's number 1 main eventer, somebody I talked about on the first session, Vladimir Kozlov. Kozlov and Khali show the WWE Universe what a WrestleMania main event looks like, but Kozlov also shows Khali the outside of the ring as he single-handedly eliminates the Punjabi Playboy and seconds later MVP. Carlito is also eliminated by Kozlov within the span of 90 seconds. Kozlov has a trifecta of eliminations. Entrant number 7 is Triple H and his trusty water bottle head towards the ring to take the fight to Kozlov. Kozlov looks like he has the momentum against the game, but the Cerebral Assassin eliminates him in no time. It is time where Ben's DVD finally kicks into play, because number 8 is the McMahon bounty hunter. He is the Viper. It is Randy Orton. He makes his way to the ring and takes the fight to his former Evolution teammate. Orton connects with his vintage backbreaker on Triple H. Vintage Orton, as I just said. An attempted RKO is followed up with an attempted pedigree, but Morrison intercepts on the two men and hits a signature kick across Triple H's face. It is time for entrant number 9. It is crime time. But which member do you ask? We have Shad and JTG hitting that coin flip that is so iconic because it is a double-sided coin. Absolute comedy. Ray and Randy are teetering over the top rope, but both men survive as we move on to entrant number 10. It is another Legacy member, Ted DiBiase Jr. He joins the fray and automatically goes to assist Randy Orton with clearing the competition. JTG and Morrison are dangling over the top rope. They eventually save themselves. On the other side of the ring, Ray and Ted try for a similar spot, but it doesn't look as cool as effective. 10 points for trying. Entrant number 11 is your former World Heavyweight Champion and your 2008 Superstar of the Year, Chris Jericho. Jericho wastes no time making his presence known by attacking Ray and Randy, but he is not able to claim an elimination on either man. Ray and Triple H try to eliminate Jericho as entrant number 12 is ready to enter. Mike Knox is entrant number 12, and to a mild ovation, he targets Ray right out of the gate. 90 seconds later, lucky number 13, The Miz enters the contest, and surprisingly enough, he does not help John Morrison as John Morrison is being beat down by Randy Orton. Ray pushes Morrison into an RKO, and then The Miz is on the receiving end of an RKO, and so is JTG. We have some more 3-letter words. After RKO City, Triple H hits a pedigree and eliminates the dirt sheet, that being John Morrison and Miz for our Section 103 listeners who were not around in 2009. Entrant number 4 is Finlay. While Finlay makes his way to the ring, Mysterio is almost eliminated, but he is saved as he uses Miz and Morrison's back as a platform to make his way back into the ring. Finlay has an impressive showing of offense with over everyone inside the ring, but seconds later, we are at our halfway point of this match breakdown as the third member of Legacy, our current day WWE Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes, is our 15th entrant. All 3 members of Legacy use their hound-like mentality to their advantage as they target JTG, HHH, and Finlay. He doesn't have 3, but if it would be FIN, with strikes and stomps. While Cody and Ted wear down Mike Knox in the background, Orton catches Ray in midair with an RKO. The crowd could have been louder for that, I feel. Entrant number 16 turns the arena's lights off. It is the Dead Man. It is the Undertaker. All the superstars in the ring are looking to make quick work of the Dead Man, but it is the Dead Man who makes quick work of them. JTG is thrown over the top rope by the Undertaker. Entrant number 17, is Goldust, and he goes face to face with his brother Cody Rhodes. Rhodes gets the taste slapped out of his mouth by Dustin, aka Goldust. Orton strikes with an RKO on Goldust, and he signals for Rhodes to eliminate his brother. Rhodes does follow through with the request from the Viper. Entrant number 18, CM Punk, soars over the top rope and into the ring. He hits a plethora of moves on Legacy, Jericho, Orton, and surprisingly a GTS on HHH. Entrant 19, Mark Henry, moves swiftly into the ring and delivers a few strikes and headbutt to his opposition. Triple H finds himself on the receiving end of a World's Strongest Slam. As we prepare for entrant 20, the Royal Rumble is officially golden as the gold standard Shelton Benjamin makes his way to the ring as entrant 20. Shelton gets a pay dirt in on Finley and seconds later throws Mysterio high into the air and back onto the canvas. In the move of the night, Shelton jumps onto the top rope where Jericho and Punk are battling and brings both men down with a double pay dirt-like maneuver. Entrant number 21, the former Intercontinental Champion William Regal, makes a target of CM Punk and punts Punk's ear right off his head into section 103 in the crowd. Mark Henry was also eliminated at some point here too. The cameras and the commentary didn't catch it happen. Entrant number 22, Peyton's favorite wrestler of all time, Kofi Kingston, enters the fray and he's able to take on any superstars that come his way. Jericho takes Kofi's head off with a clothesline to detour his momentum. Shelton finds himself on the receiving end of a chokeslam and on the outside of the ring as he's eliminated by The Undertaker. Entrant 23 at this time is Kane, and at the moment in time, he holds the record for most eliminations in a Royal Rumble. The Brothers of Destruction work together to clear house and send Ted directly into hell with a disgusting double chokeslam. Kofi is also on the receiving end of a chokeslam. CM Punk eliminates William Regal. Entrant 24 is R-Truth, and that is what's up. 90 seconds later, entrant number 25 is our first surprise, and I would say our last surprise of the Rumble in true surprise-like fashion, because it is RVD. What an incredible surprise it was. RVD takes Kane down with a flying sidekick and follows up with a flurry of moves on various superstars. Entrant number 26, the match that probably got this man fired. The man with the plan B, Brian Kendrick, is on his way to the ring with a plan to main event WrestleMania. Kendrick eliminates Kofi only to be eliminated by Triple H mere seconds later. Quick side note, I think about the I am so sorry so often with Triple H. I think about that spot every time I see it. I think about, I fucked up, I'm sorry. I think that is just so good.
He takes a nasty face bump on the outside too.
Yeah, I cannot not think about that. Oh my god. Okay, guys, we're almost there. I promise. We're at 126. Holy shit. Triple H has 4 eliminations at this point. We move on to entrant number 27th as Dolph Ziggler makes his Royal Rumble debut. Ziggler looks to shake the hand of Kane, but Kane looks to show Ziggler the outside of the ring as Dolph's WrestleMania dreams are over before they even started. Rhodes hits a brutal-looking electric chair on CM Punk as we prepare for entrant number 28. Santino Marella looks to avenge his partner's loss earlier in the night, but can't even get into the ring because he's eliminated in 1 second by the Big Red Machine. Entrant number 29 is our second surprise of the night, the winner of the first Royal Rumble, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Hacksaw gets an incredible reaction from the WWE Universe. Hacksaw is able to take out both Brothers of Destruction off their feet too. Entrant number 30, the best surprise in Royal Rumble history. The Big Show claims the last spot, but can he claim the Royal Rumble victory too? Hacksaw tests his might against Big Show, but Show is too much for him to handle and he is eliminated. Big Show does not stop there as he lifts R-Truth over his shoulders and slams him on the outside of the concrete. Punk's WrestleMania dreams are also crushed by the Big Show. So are Rey Mysterio and Mike Knox's. Kane eliminates Finley after a moment with Hornswoggle coming to Finley's aid. RVD comes flying from the heavens and connects with a 5-star frog splash on Orton, only to be eliminated by Jericho. Jericho in his meme where he's looking over the ropes at what he just did, where the Undertaker is standing right beside him, sends Jericho packing, and so are his WrestleMania dreams, but he has a really good WrestleMania match this year. Legacy saves their captain from an attack by Kane and eliminates the Big Red Machine. Our final 6 are Legacy, Triple H, Big Show, and The Undertaker. The Dead Man puts up a great fight against Legacy with a set of ring-shaking chokeslams and eventually finds himself in a striking contest with the Big Show. Taker takes Big Show off his feet with a slobber-knocking clothesline and almost eliminates Big Show. Big Show and Undertaker find themselves on the apron choking the life out of each other, only for Orton to connect with the top rope-assisted RKO on Big Show. Show becomes a sore loser, pulls Undertaker off the apron to be eliminated, and the two fight their way to the back. We are down to Legacy and Triple H. The Hounds wear down Triple H with vicious head strikes and kicks. Orton demands for Ted and Cody to pick Triple H up. Orton tries for an RKO, but Hunter counters. Hunter connects with a pedigree on Rhodes, throws Ted over the top rope, soon after Cody Rhodes, but before Triple H can turn around, he finds himself going over the top rope into the floor. Randy Orton is your 2009 Royal Rumble winner, and that is an 11-minute Royal Rumble 2009 match breakdown. I don't know if I could do another Royal Rumble match breakdown. I really enjoyed this Royal Rumble a lot. As the host and the person who picked the show, my friend, tell us what you thought of this match, Ben.
All right. Well, I love this Royal Rumble match. That's why I picked this show. So my notes are kind of like from different entrants. So I'm going to kind of go through them. I won't take too long because I know this is already like an hour and a half. I don't want to.
You're all good, my friend.
Oh, yeah. So I have, when the Great Khali comes out, the big guys always have the same role in a Royal Rumble. They always get ganged up on. You know, in Smash Brothers, when there's like 4 of you playing and one of you has 3 stocks and everyone else has 1 and like, hey, get that guy. That's the big guy in the Royal Rumble.
It is. That's a great analogy.
They gang up on them. And then Kozlov, Clearinghouse, wasn't he considered to face Undertaker at this WrestleMania? Or
that and that guy who only had like a vignette and then never even made his debut.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was people at the bottom left of the screen going crazy during the countdowns.
Really?
I don't know if you noticed it, but
no.
There was people in the crowd. During the countdowns, they would look towards the camera and make funny faces and like pretend to fight each other in the crowd. Next time you watch it, just look out for that. It was actually cracking me up so much what they were doing.
I love this.
For Chris Jericho, I put potentially in the 2026 Royal Rumble ?
Yep.
Because it looks like he's WWE bound potentially. Mike Knox looking like a Wyatt family member. And The Miz. So his attire here, my wrestler in WWE 12 and 13, I modeled his attire after The Miz. Like the
Let's go.
Like the shorts,
yep.
Like short pant thingies. I really liked that look back in the day. And Cody Rhodes, it was great to see Cody in the Royal Rumble here. And he's grown so much since then. QB1. American
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Undertaker coming out. I love how everyone sells Undertaker's entrance. It's amazing. Everyone just stops what they're doing. It's like, oh shit, he's a threat. We gotta lock in here. This fire burns is pure fire. Pun fully intended. Mark Henry. I put Jerry, who can throw him over the top rope. Lawler. I mentioned some of this other stuff here, but what is it? About 15 people were in the ring at once. I don't know if you caught that, but that was awesome. I love when the Rumble gets full of wrestlers and it's like a battle for survival. And I counted 14 or 15 people. They were kept moving. I didn't want to pause, so I was trying to count everyone. At one time, there was like 15 people in the ring. And to finish off my segment here, the final moments with Randy, Legacy, and Triple H, my friends and I would recreate this finish on the trampoline. I would be Randy, and they would be whoever. I was always Randy in the situation. And we do like the pick 'em up, and even for the RKO reversed, and then the whole elimination spots. But that's about. Love this Royal Rumble. It's nostalgic for me. Of course, there's better Royal Rumble matches, but I just have so much bias because Randy's my GOAT. This was like the start of the 09 Orton you see on like Twitter, like 09 Orton was a menace type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this Royal Rumble. Nostalgic. I watched it like 100 times because it was saved onto my PS3.
There you go.
Oh.
All right, there's my notes. Quickly balled into one there for y'all.
All right, Peyton, now from entrant 30 back to number 1, please give us a reverse rundown of how this Royal Rumble went.
Oh boy. Okay, so this was my issue. I would say I've been fairly decent when it comes to writing about like matches throughout our short-lived time here. This one was by far the hardest I've had to write because it had nothing to do with the quality of the show, like the match. It was great. This is one of the better Rumbles. But the issue is covering a Rumble itself with its length. Obviously, Matt does a great job with the match breakdowns. Ben being the guest, and this was specifically his show. Obviously, he has, to say about it because this was the whole reason he picked the show. So what the hell am I going to say? And my answer genuinely is I don't know. So instead, I decided to do it. That I just kind of cover things that stuck out to me. I assume I will repeat pretty much everything that was said, but this is the pay version of it. So here we go. The Rumble stats before the matches is always great. I know it's a yearly thing, but it's cool to see where we're at then to now. Obviously, we got a Rumble record tonight. At that time at least. Mysterio and Morrison starting out is awesome, as well as the amazing gears. I loved the Rey Mysterio when he would do like the half, like the two-face ones, like with two different colors. I thought that was super neat. I had it was Mattel. It was a pack, Rey Mysterio. He was blue and yellow, and it came with a little mask. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, no, this one, it was just a basic, but it came with a little mask, which was really neat. But anywho, no, yeah, Mysterio and Morrison starting out is great. For me, when it comes to Royal Rumbles, I'm a big fan of the ones that have a variety of competitors. Meaning, like, I'm not somebody, like, if you give me the option, I would rather have, you know, the mix of like top guys, mid-carders, jobbers, tag teams, legends, surprises, whatever. I want it all bundled as opposed to having a multitude of potential winners. Like, I prefer having a variety over star power. I guess the one that comes to mind for me is Royal Rumble 2017, I believe, when it was like Taker, Goldberg, Lesnar, like
James Ellsworth,
the biggest superstar.
Randy won that one too.
Yes, sir.
He did. But when it comes to that, like I don't prefer that. It doesn't help that Rumble wasn't really that great, but in my opinion. But like, yeah, I like variety like this. And you know, I can use the guys that we had, like Carlito in there. Something cool. Our final two were within the first 10 spots, being Triple H and Randy Orton. I like that because really to me, like, watching this back, it was pretty much, and I don't know like betting odds then or whatever it was, but it was Triple H, Randy Orton, Undertaker. That's kind of like that was it. I think that's all of them had equal reason to win. And I thought that was cool. Like, I like Rumbles like that, is essentially my point. But anywho, yeah, I think the specific I said, I prefer Rumbles with the few potential winners that all have equal chance over many big players with one clear winner. So that's kind of my Rumble stance. But anywho, back to the actual Rumble itself. JTG pranking Shad with the double-sided coin was gold. That was good stuff. What was also good stuff here, Chris Jericho's gear. The red trunks look is one of my favorite. It's my favorite Jericho gear. And blue's my favorite color, but there's just something about that red and that shade that just really does it for me. I always think of the Price is Right segment on Raw. I think that was also 2009, I believe. Look at me, wrestling historian right here.
I won't even unmute my microphone.
But yes, no. Who else do we even got here? Mike Knox is Mike Knox. I remember his basic Mattel figure. I never owned that one, and that was one I always wanted to have. You also gotta appreciate Miz's kind of little shitty gear, the long shorts and the little fedora bidet, whatever the hell he had. Good old Finley, father David Finley, New Japan legend. Well, I don't. Legend, it might be tough, but Bullet Club War Dog leader. This isn't necessarily like a match thing specifically, but a lot of the guys that were in this match, like that Fit Finley, or Jericho, whatever, so on and so forth, I had figures of as a kid. Like, this was right around the time when Mattel first took over. So I'm nostalgic in that aspect. I had this exact Fit Finley gear and whatnot. like I had the Legacy 2-pack with DiBiase and Cody Rhodes, Miz and Morrison, Mysterio, so on and so forth. So yeah, I did write that if I remind to find some, I should totally pull a few out for this episode. I did not. I'm sorry. Maybe next week. But I'll show like a wrestler an episode. But anyways, the landscape changes immediately as I hear that gong. Undertaker at spot 16. That was my third and final guy who like I could have thought won. Perfect ratio. Give me like 3 or 4 a Rumble who like have a shot at winning. I think that's great. What else we got here? Nothing like a classic Cody Rhodes Goldust standoff. Imagine telling that to those two a decade later that they would have, you know, one of the standout matches in AEW ever, a rival promotion of WWE. Crazy. Like, yeah, that would have been blasphemy. CM Punk, of course, you gotta love CM Punk. I love that gear too. I have a few more of his that I prefer over this one. Most notably the Macho Man, like the all pink, the Fantastic Four one he did this past SummerSlam was really good. You know, just songs like that. But this was his Mattel Elite at Series 1 or 2. Matt, you're the guy. I think it was
on the hot seat.
Yeah, I think it was 1. I think 1 had Cena, Taker, Edge, Triple H, and I think Hardy was supposed to be the 5th there, but it was Punk. Yes. Question mark.
Yes. But it was the same gear. I know that positively. Google it. Google it and let me know. What else we got here? So Mark Henry, you know, he might say a lot of stupid booking choices that he wants, but I fuck with Mark
so
Henry.
off. Oh my god. It was Rey Mysterio, MVP, Edge, CM Punk in this gear, and Undertaker.
Okay, good ass first set. That's like the holy grail of Mattel there. Of course, Shelton Benjamin. Come on now. You guys know I love my Shelton Benjamin. This is my favorite look at him with the blonde hair, the gold standard. You guys know I love Shelton Benjamin if you've seen the podcast, though. Undertaker got busted open. I don't believe either of you mentioned that.
I did have it in my notes. I kind of glossed over it. But when did he get busted open?
I don't remember. Like I said I don't know who or how, but great visual. I do not remember where he got busted open at, but cool visual, of course, especially at a time when they weren't doing that so much because they were, you know, hardcore in the PG era there. At number 22, my favorite wrestler of all time, Kofi Kingston. Come on now. This was Jamaican SOS. Kofi Kingston here. Love the yellow gear from him. And I very much miss when he wore trunks. I'm not a fan of his pants nowadays, admittedly, but bring back the trunks. Undertaker eliminated Shelton Benjamin, though, which sucks. But of course, Rob Van Dam at number 25. That, to me, if we're wanting to talk about Rumble surprises, returns, debuts, whatever, that is one of my all-time favorites ever. Top 5, maybe top 3. I adore it. The crowd goes crazy. Even if this was a one-off, he didn't return full-time for a few more years. I believe his return was 2013, Money in the Bank. God damn, dude, look at me. I'm as sharp as a fucking knife.
Was he in TNA at the time of this?
Yes, so he went to... he was released, I believe, in 2007, 2008. He kind of just floated around the indies. They brought him in for like here and there appearances. He was brought in for this, and then a few months after he joined TNA. And then he was there until 2013, was at the Money in the Bank, and then, you know, so on and so forth. But yeah, no, I love the crowd here and the visual of the sold out arena, looking at the ramp awaiting him and, you know, freaking out. It's great stuff. I always really liked the pairing of Brian Kendrick and Ezekiel Jackson. I fuck with Ezekiel Jackson too.
Last ECW champion.
Yes. Last ECW champion. I like his little body movements. It's always fun. Ziggler I called him Ziggle, giving his hand to Kane, you know. He was like, "Hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler. You know me." He did not, because he got sent over the top. But great stuff there. Funny spot. The iconic Santino elimination spot. always a classic. I don't think he has the record anymore, but like at least in WWE standards he doesn't, but I believe someone's like, or a few people have timed it, and Santino might technically have the record still. I don't know. It's tied records. I don't care. It's a good spot. It was a classic for many years. And of course, that legendary Hacksaw Jim Duggan for a night was pretty cool too. I'm a sucker for the returns in the Rumble. But ultimately, though, of course, the winner is Randy Orton. This was his first Rumble that he won, eliminating Triple H. It's a very enjoyable Rumble. It's easily the highlight of the night, as most Rumbles typically are. And I'm glad that I got to rewatch this stellar match again. My overall thoughts on the show, for me anyways, as a show, I thought that I think any Royal Rumble is extremely hard to judge if you're you're really just there for the Rumble itself. Very few Rumbles, to my mind, have like standouts beyond the Rumble or like take over the Rumble. My mind immediately goes to like Rollins, Cena, Lesnar in 2015. That is, in my opinion, still the best triple threat of all time. But for what the show had, it had some compelling stories with HBK's desperation, the Matt Hardy heel turn. I'm sorry, Matt. And of course, setting up Randy Orton as the face of the company akin to John Cena, making this a pretty enjoyable watch, especially it's fun to just kind of see, it's a treat looking back at everybody that I grew up with, like, say Kofi Kingston, he was debuting, like this in like a year or two in at the time, Shelton Benjamin, gold standard, and, seeing where they are now, remembering whether it was like all the action figures I had or like various storylines. It's one of the better Rumbles you can choose to watch back in honor of the Rumble season. I don't think it's the best by any means, but I think it is a pretty enjoyable show. My favorite match, of course, was the Royal Rumble. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I think that's bullshit. I will definitely bring it to like I think I was just tripping. I'm going to give it like a 3.5 or a 4, I think is fair. But we'll go with a 4. A 4 out of 5. My least favorite match, unfortunately, Jack Swagger versus Matt Hardy. And my show rating as a whole, again, I kind of think I was tripping. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I think a 3.5, 3.5 out of 5 stars there is a pretty acceptable. Maybe if you want to stretch it and have the Rumble carry, maybe I can see a 4. But I think a 3.5 out of 5 is very fair for me. But Matt, what did you think?
Really good Rumble. It was a really fun one. It was a really fast show. Like from beginning to end, it went by really fast. I really enjoyed it. I think 2009 as a kid, I think that year WWE is more like pivotal or like more memorable for me, 2008, 2009, especially with how the summer of 2009 went with Hardy and Punk. So this show really kicked that year off with branching storylines for Jeff Hardy to stay in the main event scene. Fuck Matt Hardy. I'll say that till I die. I met him at SummerSlam 2019 at a meet and greet. I was wearing my Chalk Line Hardy Boys jacket. He said, "Which one are you a fan of more, me or my brother?" I told Matt Hardy to his face, "I'm not going to answer that." And I have the most awkward photo with Matt Hardy after. We're all smiling. I just wish he asked me after the photo because it was an awkward wait down for the camera to do the 3, 2, 1. Favorite match here is honestly probably going to go to Jeff and Edge. I really like that match. I like when no disqualification matches aren't necessarily Extreme Rules matches. I like when they just kind of use weapons or kind of use the no disqualification to their advantage. JR selling that brother turning on brother was really great. My least favorite match was probably Jack Swagger and Matt Hardy as well. And my rating for the whole show is a 3 out of 5. I think there's definitely better Rumbles to watch. I think there's worse Rumbles to watch. This one I wouldn't recommend for somebody's first one as a show, but I would recommend this Rumble be the first one for somebody to watch if they want to see what the star power looked like in the late 2000s. Ben, how about you? Thoughts and favorite match, least favorite match, and overall rating?
All right. Well, least favorite match is going to be JBL and Cena.
Okay.
I know
nice.
I'm against the rest of the panel here, but I did find it a little bit boring because it was more focused on Sean just deadpan on the outside. Match of the night, it's a toss-up. I will slightly say the Royal Rumble match, but I loved Edge versus Jeff Hardy. It was so much fun. But my Randy Orton bias is going to seep through. Randy winning the Rumble was the highlight of the night for me. And overall, as a show, I want to give it like probably a 3.5. I know I selected it and I should be giving like a 5 out of 5, but rewatching it, I was able to like kind of be unbiased, minus Randy Orton winning. And it was a fun show to rewatch though. I liked I liked going through it. It was fun, enjoyable, and a good showcase of what was going on around the time.
I think the Section 103 podcast does the best when we watch shows that we don't necessarily say are like the greatest ones to watch, because I know we picked Survivor Series 2008. We've chose NXT New Orleans 2018. And although those were great shows, they're definitely not like the first ones I would have showed for those pay-per-views either. And as a guest with you choosing this show, Royal Rumble 2009, D. Smith choosing Raw's War with the infamous Undertaker Stone Cold, and Boucher choosing, oh my goodness, what did Boucher choose, Peyton? Do you remember what he chose?
Boucher chose
probably WrestleMania 26 or 27.
Oh my goodness, what did he choose? Actually,
hold on, no, don't look it up. Let's think about this. WrestleMania
27.
Wow, I have to say, like, I can't believe that we. Oh, dude, you know why he didn't choose the show?
Because he was part of the Cena.
Yeah,
that was the Cena retirement.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel a lot better about that.
Yo, Boucher, I love you, dude. I am so sorry, because I know the shows we've watched, but I didn't. Yeah. Anyways, but to Ben's point, I don't think you need to be like the greatest fan of the show you're choosing. It's just fun for us to watch something from yesteryear. But tying this whole episode into a bow, as we've said to previous guests, as I'm sure I've said to you, always welcome as many sessions as you want to come on and watch with us, relive with us. Please never hesitate to say, I want to come on and watch a show with you. We'll watch your second show too, whatever that is. If you want to say, hey, we're doing that in February. I guess we're doing that in February. I'm going to hand it over to Peyton before we hand it over to you for the closing remarks. Peyton, anything you want to end with?
Yes, as far as what we're watching next, we don't know. We really should get back on picking.
You know what we're watching next?
Time, but oh, what is it? Go for it.
One Night Stand 2006 with Mitab Barar. He is in our Section 103 group chat. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. That is what we're watching next. I'm in that group chat and I somehow didn't know. But no, for me, seriously, yeah, I look forward to watching that. Of course, every week is a pleasure. Whether I'm just talking with Matt, or we got people like Ben who are tuning in weekly. We cannot thank you enough. If you want more from me, Matt did kind of mention it earlier in the episode. I have a new video on my channel. It's a Splatoon 2 retrospective. I really liked how it turned out. It's my first time making a thumbnail with Photoshop. That's a whole spiel, but that program is really fucking difficult to learn for someone who's not very artistic. So please watch it. I would appreciate that. But no, yeah, that's all for me. Ben, where can the people find you? Any closing remarks? What you got to say?
Well, first off, thank you guys for having me on the podcast. Yeah. I appreciate the invite. Hopefully people can understand what I was saying. I was a bit nervous. Being on camera is not something I'm used to. But it was fun to talk with you guys, and you guys made it very fun. So thank you for that.
Hell yeah.
And you can find me at twitch.tv/Archerful, where I stream ATWE, my E-Fed. Join the community. A lot of great people on there. I also upload to the YouTube channel for ATW as well for the VODs you can watch after the stream. And I'm currently working on streaming some other stuff like Smash Brothers, Zelda, and other stuff like that. I want to make more content.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you ever want to play a game of Smash, let me know.
This guy's looking.
I'm down. I'm hungry.
I got to get a Switch 2 because my Switch 1 I modded, so I can't play online anymore. But when I get the Switch 2, I'll definitely hit you up. But
sure.
On my Archerful YouTube channel, I'm going to start uploading again at some point. But that's where you can find me. Archerful basically on everything, and ATWE on YouTube.
Hell yes, brother. 3 quick shout outs. 1, Brandon Boucher. I feel like I dogged on you on this podcast. I absolutely love you. Number 2, Moira. I absolutely love you as well. Big part of the ATWE universe. And number 3 goes to my main man Enigmatic entity. I haven't said that in so long.
You gotta get them on this podcast.
Dude.
They know so much about wrestling. It's actually insane.
Any day, Entity, Moira, if you are watching, please come shoot us a message. We'd love to have you. I hope everybody has one great time listening to this session. Go listen to the other sessions, maybe even that one where Boucher didn't pick a show, but we thought he did. I'll catch everybody soon. Catch you later.